I live and work in a pretty safe, pretty awesome place. But even so, it seems like every few days I hear about some crime being committed, some break-in or some fugitive escape from the law. Sometimes as bloggers it feels like our blogs are kind of a safe space on the internet. But believe it or not, there are people's blogs that are getting broken into, hacked or taken down by people with malicious intent. In fact, it's happening every single day. And so today I want to talk a little bit about blog security and why even we as bloggers should be thinking about how to keep our blogs and our customers' data safe. Okay, but let's be totally real here. What kind of websites actually need good security? There's really two instances that I think that even a small blog should consider good security for their website. And that is first, if you're taking any customer data. That is, if you're selling a product of any kind, if they're signing up on your website for anything, you have a membership of some kind, I would definitely make sure you have good security. The second would be if you're relying on the income from your website in any way. You see, it's not just hackers that are trying to steal customer data who could potentially attack your website. It's also people who, for one reason or another, want to take your website down. So let me share with you an opportunity that I just came across that allows us, even us independent bloggers, to be able to get enterprise level security. That's like the kind of security that huge brands and huge companies that you know of have on their websites. And the cool thing is that this opportunity is not just for security, it's also gonna have good positive ramifications for the speed of your website. Now let me give you my little disclaimer here. First of all, this is not a sponsored video. Nobody's paying me to say these things. I am an affiliate for one of the two companies that I'm gonna be talking about today, and it is a hosting company. The reality is though, that basically all internet hosting companies have really good affiliate programs. And the only reason that I would recommend this hosting company to you is because it's the one that I choose to use personally after having tested a whole bunch of them myself. And they just let me know about this really cool opportunity and I couldn't wait to share it with you. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about Cloudways. Cloudways is a really awesome hosting platform, but then they go and do stuff like this. And this isn't the first time they've added like a level of awesomeness that was completely unexpected. You see, what they've done is they've gone and they've partnered with Cloudflare. I get the two mixed up all the time when I'm talking about them because their names are so similar. But Cloudflare is a company that we've known about for years and years and years. I've known them because of their CDN, their content delivery network. Basically, the way this works is that they take the content from your website and they cache it in servers all over the world. And that way, when somebody goes to your website, they get to see the version of your website stored on the server closest to them. It makes it load a lot faster. But you see, Cloudflare goes way beyond that. Because all the traffic going to your website goes through their servers, they're able to do a ton to help protect your website too. See, Cloudflare has a really awesome firewall. They have DDoS protection and bot protection and all sorts of other cool features, including numerous features to help speed up your website even more. The thing is that the free version of Cloudflare only has the basics. Let's see what their pricing looks like. Look, free version, totally free, and I've been using that for a long time. It's really cool. The pro version though is immediately $20 a month. The business version, $200 a month in enterprise. Like, we're not even gonna tell you, you're gonna have to get in touch. It's really expensive. Companies are often paying thousands of dollars every single month to have this level of security and this level of also speed, image optimization, CDN, and the level of support directly from them that you get with this enterprise tier of service. But most of us bloggers are not able to pay hundreds and even thousands of dollars every single month for that level of support and for that level of security. Until now. See, here's what Cloudways just did. Cloudways partnered with Cloudflare, Cloudflare Enterprise. Well, let's walk through some of the things that they have to offer. The first is speed. You see, when you go to Cloudflare Enterprise through Cloudways, you're able to get the Cloudflare Enterprise CDN. What this does is it gives you access to numerous more servers all around the world than you get with the free plan. What that does is it makes it so that people are able to access your website from even closer to where they live. It's going to make it that much faster. There's also a whole bunch of other kind of pieces that go into this that go beyond just expanding the size of the CDN that really technically kind of goes beyond even the scope of what we could talk about here in this video. But what it's going to do is it's going to speed up your website. But in addition to that, they've added additional mobile optimization to help the mobile version of your website go even faster. They're also going to optimize the images for you on your website, making them load even faster. they're about to introduce full page caching. You see, right now with the free version of Cloudflare and even the enterprise version, they have what's called static caching. However, dynamic content on your website isn't cached yet by Cloudflare. There are other plugins you can use to do this today that you have to use in conjunction with Cloudflare. However, they're about to release Cloudflare dynamic caching, full page caching, that's going to make it so we don't even need that extra plugin. Now, I mentioned security. If you have any concern about security on your website, you are going to want this. That's because they're going to provide two major security features that go way above and beyond what they offer in the free version of Cloudflare. Now, I will be clear, in the free version of Cloudflare, they do offer these features. What you're going to get at the enterprise level is a much higher level of protection with very specific rules to help your firewall be that much stronger and to manage and mitigate those DDoS attacks. Any sort of suspicious behavior, suspicious login attempts, those kinds of things are going to get blocked because they've actually set up very specific rules for their firewall that are optimized for WordPress websites. And DDoS mitigation at this level is going to take things a step further to help, again, to block those malicious attacks and help keep your website running and running quickly. But I gotta show you the really cool part, and that is the pricing. If you set up just a single domain, it's gonna only cost you $5 a month. Again, this is a level of security and performance that major websites are paying thousands of dollars a month for. I couldn't believe when they told me that this is what we were gonna have to pay to get this. And so I went ahead and I tried it out right away on a couple of our websites to help make sure that our customer data is secure and that our website doesn't crash because of some sort of malicious attack. But if you have a lot of websites, let's say that you do manage sites for a lot of clients, the more websites you put on it, the cost per domain goes down to the point where you might only be paying $2 a month for this feature to have additional security for every single one of your clients. So now let me walk you through the setup. You'll see just how easy this is. I also want to show you that there's this cool document that walks you through all the details. So if you're not using Cloudflare already to manage your DNS settings, they'll walk you through exactly how to set this up. I've got this website here. This is Content Warrior. This is a website where we sell content. People are able to order articles for their websites. So it's important to us that we're able to protect customer data. And also, we don't want this website going down. So here, within my Cloudways account, I just go to the Content Warrior server that I have, as well as to the app of contentwarrior.com. This is where the website actually is hosted. And I just come down here to Cloudflare. This is a new little tab. And they show me what all the features are that I'm going to get when I sign up for this. So I'm going to type in here the domain name, contentwarrior.com, and just click Enable. Now, what I have to do is prove my ownership. I do think that's a little bit funny because I already have a Cloudflare account. Cloudflare knows I own this website because I host the domain there. However, I am going to go ahead and set this up so that Cloudways can see my ownership of this domain. So I create two text records. So first I'm going to go over to my Cloudflare account where I manage the DNS. And here I am on contentwarrior.com and I click DNS. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add a record. I'm going to do a TXT or a text record. And then I'm going to go ahead and get this information from over here. I'm going to copy and paste the name. Then I'm going to go back, copy and paste the value. Save. Now there was a second text record, so I'm going to go ahead and create a second one. So it's the root domain. Grab this value here. Now these TXT records, all they're doing is they just exist and they have these random strings of text and numbers, characters, that essentially they're going to be able to match up and see that I was able to put those on these records within the DNS settings. The DNS settings are just the mapping. They map this domain name, contentwarrior.com, to the right places. So for my email, my domain, or my hosting for my website, as well as these TXT records that are often used essentially as validation. So now I can go back and I can click Next. Then I'm going to click Finish. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to verify my ownership first. And they say this can take even a couple of days. Now, usually it's able to happen more quickly than that, but DNS records can take a little while to fully propagate, and therefore they can take a little while for them to be seen from the Cloudways side. So I'll drop off now and I'll come back as soon as those are showing. Okay, I just hit refresh like literally right after turning off the camera and it was already there. So now that they were able to verify my ownership, now I can click here, View CNAME Record. What I've got to do is right now, the domain is running through Cloudflare. Now it's hosted at Cloudflare and is pointed at the server over on Cloudways. Well, now what I need to do is I need to route it through Cloudflare's enterprise server. So here's what we're going to do. Over here it says view CNAME record. What I need to do is create a CNAME record for this which is again the root domain. It's just contentwarrior.com to this secure.cloudways.cloud. So I'm going to go back over here. I can't create that CNAME record right now for contentwarrior.com because I already have an A record for contentwarrior.com. They're going to conflict with each other. So I've actually got to delete this record. I have to quickly add a new record. It'll be a CNAME. Oops. And then I'll go grab that right here. Now, there was one more thing there. If you read the print here, it says we recommend pointing the www version of your domain to Cloudflare Enterprise as well. To do this, add or edit a CNAME record for your www domain pointing to your root domain. So let me show you what that looks like. I've already done that here. CNAME www just points to contentwarrior.com. What that means is if somebody types in www.contentwarrior.com, it will automatically redirect them to just contentwarrior.com. Now I'll go ahead and I'll click save. Then I can come back over here and I can click done. And you'll see that my status here still shows this domain not live. Again, this says it can take up to 24 hours to get that record passing through their servers. Now, for those of you eagle eyes, you might have caught this. I did this the first time I went through here. I didn't read all the fine print closely. And I remembered this as I was going through it, but I couldn't remember where it said it. But right here, it says you must use the DNS only proxy mode, which simply requires turning your orange cloud to gray. So this is assuming here that I'm already using Cloudflare. So let's go over here and let me show you. This CNAME record for contentwarrior.com is currently being proxied, but what I want it to be is DNS only. It's actually going to get proxied through the new server. So I go ahead and I uncheck this box here. I click save. And now it'll start to work. Let's go back over here, click done. I'll go ahead and refresh it. We'll see if it's ready. Not yet. So now I'm going to leave again and we'll come back possibly in just a few minutes to see if this is actually live. All right, after just a couple minutes, I refreshed and now it's asking, it says view A records, and now it's asking me actually to replace this with an A record that points to these two actually different places. You'll see here that it says that if I already have another record that has that same host, that I'm going to have to remove it. So now I'm going to go ahead and go over here to Cloudflare. I'm going to delete this one that we just created. Now I'm going to go ahead and create an A record. I'm going to have the @ symbol for the root domain. And now it's given me two different servers to point it to. I'm going to go ahead and copy the first one. And I'm going to turn off the proxy box and click save. I'm going to add another A record that points to the second one and turn off the proxy. Now it does sort of say this right here, but by pointing to both of those, essentially what we're doing is we're running it through kind of two different servers, and that helps ensure that through one of those two servers at any given point in time, we're going to be able to have access to our content. So now we're done. We can refresh it again. And all of a sudden, with instant response, we're active. So now this website, contentwarrior.com, is going to be able to be served through Cloudflare's enterprise CDN with all of the security features, all of the speed features, everything that Cloudflare's enterprise has to offer. And they're doing it for $5 a month. So I promise this was not an ad. I promise nobody paid me to make this video. I was just really excited when I saw this opportunity to be able to have top-notch security for sites like ours, like Income School, like contentwarrior.com, and maybe a handful of our other sites. I really do want them to be able to operate 100% of the time, or as close to it as possible, as quickly as possible, with the best security possible. Now, tools are great and all, but they only make up a piece of what we need to do as bloggers. Content creation is a much bigger piece. So now that you've watched this, choose whether or not you want to implement it. It's no sweat off my back either way. I'd love to see you have better performance and better security, but you need to make that decision about whether that's something you need on your website. In the meantime, let's get to work creating content. We'll see you all next time.